If you're a content creator, you already know how risky it is to mess around with music licensing. One copyright strike can wreck your whole video, and I'm convinced it can also have an effect on your entire channel. That's why today I want to help you figure out which royalty-free music site is actually worth your money. We're going to be breaking down Artlist, Epidemic Sound, and Musicbed. So my name's Chris, and I live and breathe content. I have around 12 YouTube channels now. Well, I think it's 12. I have so many TikTok accounts, I can't even count. What I'm saying here is I live and breathe content. And I have memberships to probably 7 of these sites. I've seen the strengths and weaknesses of each platform, and I feel like my opinion can kind of help shed some light on answering some questions with this. So if you're trying to find the best all-in-one solution for your content and music for your videos, this video is going to save you a lot of time because I'm just going to cut right to it. Let's start with what all these music royalty subscription sites have in common, right? And it's music quality. All of these sites have really high quality music. This isn't low budget, generic stock sounds. You're getting polished, high quality tracks across the board. And yes, I have tried some cheaper sites to save some time and money, but it's not gonna save you any time, that's for sure, because their music quality isn't there. That's the great thing about all 3 of these platforms. But the way the music is curated is where things start to get a little bit different, and also the subscriptions, how they work. Let's start with Musicbed. It is definitely the most artistic in terms of like how it feels. A lot of their tracks sound like something you'd hear in like a film trailer or like a theatrical documentary. They have the best music hands down. The music is at like a premium feel and no doubt the coolest stuff, but it comes at a premium price. And it's also not the most beginner friendly when it comes to licensing. You kind of have to dig into the details to make sure you're legally covered, especially for client projects or like commercial work. Like myself, I work with businesses that do content. Musicbed is not the best option. I mean, if I'm being honest, that can be a headache. Next, we have Epidemic Sound. This has more of like the creator vibe, and it's built for YouTubers, vloggers, and social media content. They've got a massive library. I heard it's around like 40,000 songs or something like that, but here's the thing. They don't have any sound effects, and I'll get to that in a minute here. One cool feature is they offer stems for their tracks, so you can like isolate the drums or like the vocals or just like a melody and kind of mix it how you want. So if you're looking to do like more in-depth like audio editing, this is going to be a good option for you. But I feel like 90% of creators are just looking for cool music that's openly available to put on their videos and kind of just run with it. We're going to get to that. But Epidemic Sound only offers songs, and at $24 a month for the pro plan, it kind of adds up, but it's not super expensive, but I got a better option coming up here. So let's talk about Artlist. Artlist is the last one I want to talk about, and it's my personal favorite. So there's Artlist, and then there's Artlist Max. And this is the one that really pulls ahead for me. Not only do you get access to their full music and sound effects library, yes, they have sound effects, unlike Epidemic Sounds, which is very cinematic, emotional. They have just excellent options. But you also get tons of extra things with the platform membership, especially if you get the Max. Like if you get the Artlist Max, you get stock footage, motion graphics, templates, video editing plugins, and they also have like an AI voiceover tool. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of AI voices, but I think if you can learn to edit them to be a little better, I'm gonna go down a wormhole with this, but I feel like AI voices, when you're talking or when they're talking, in between sentences, there's like this huge gap. They'll be like, and then the lady showed up to the restaurant, and then she went to go order something. And it's just like, a little side trick is if you can edit that out, it's gonna sound a lot more natural. And sometimes if you speed it up a tiny bit in a video editor, it's just a lot better. Wow, Chris, you went on a rant there. So let's talk about the stock footage. This is worth it in itself. So if you're serious about video and you're looking to add stock footage to like, say like the video you're watching here, this is a talking head video, it's extremely kind of boring without stock footage, right? So stock footage website memberships, one of the biggest is Storyblocks. That alone is $60 a month. How do I know? Because I pay for it. But you get tons of stock footage with Artlist Max, and it's only $40 a month. And their stock footage is amazing. It's 4K, it's top notch. Like that in itself is worth the money by itself. Plus, on top of that, you get all the music and sound effects. So it's just like, this just feels kind of like a no-brainer to me. And guys, if you're considering signing up or just checking out these websites, consider using my affiliate links in the description from one creator to another. I'm just trying to give back to the creator space here. If you're someone who makes a lot of content, whether it's YouTube videos, reels, client projects, or just promos, I feel like Artlist Max is a no-brainer, and I'm gonna keep saying this over and over and over. And they have motion graphics. Did I say that? They have motion graphics. Like what? So instead, you know, Epidemic Sounds is probably the better choice. It's a little tiny bit cheaper, but you only get songs. With Artlist Max, you're gonna get songs, sound effects, motion graphics, stock B-roll footage you can put in your videos. And then you can use their AI voiceover tool, which don't do that. Let's create real content here. I'm just pro real human content. And hit me up in the comments. Are you against AI? I don't know. That's the big question here. And as far as interfaces go, Artlist actually has the cleanest interface in my personal opinion. And again, this is gonna sound like a vacuum commercial for Artlist because I'm just such a big fan. But when we break down the basics here, guys, this seems extremely simple. So the thing about Musicbed is it feels a bit on the high end, but the interface is a bit clunky. Whereas Epidemic Sounds has some cool search tools, and you can kind of extract parts of the music. So if you're really into like audio editing, you may want to go with Epidemic Sound. But I'm just looking for simple music that I can add to videos. So with Artlist, I can get in, find what I need, and get back to editing. And then speaking of editing, actually Artlist is teaming up with a lot of the big video editor companies, and they're having plugins to directly bring their music into the video editing platform. And I think this says a lot about where Artlist stands. So if the video editing platforms are allowing to team up with Artlist, I feel like they must think of Artlist as pretty good, right? If they're gonna team up with them and then bring them into the video editing tool. I don't know. The outlook looks pretty good for Artlist, and it feels like they're just really creating and listening to what creators need and giving back to us, which I really, really like. So one of the biggest factors is licensing. And again, I should have talked about this before because this is huge. So with Artlist Max, one license covers it all, right? Music, footage, templates, and even client work. You can monetize YouTube videos, clear tracks for clients, and use footage in promos or ads without worrying about hidden restrictions. I've personally never had a single copyright issue using Artlist, and it's a huge peace of mind just being able to just like sign up, pay, and just concentrate on what I'm good at, which is creating videos. And it's especially good for freelancers who don't want to jump through legal hoops every time they have to start a new project. You know, like when I'm working with these businesses, I want to be confident in saying, hey, I have music that's not going to get hit by copyright. And it's just like, it's so much easier. And I know what you might be thinking, Artlist Max is $40 a month, and that's billed annually. So you're gonna have to save money and do the annual plan. But here's the factor, guys. The 4K footage you're gonna get, it includes music, effect, you know, like templates, plugins, and the AI tools. At the end of the day, I feel like it's just like a small piece of the puzzle, because even if you need stock footage, you're gonna go to Storyblocks, and that's $60 a month with that. So compared to Epidemic Sound at $24 a month, the Artlist Max is a little bit more money, but I feel like you get a lot more. You get the stock footage and you get the sound effects and the AI stuff. And all right, guys, I feel like a salesman to Artlist now, and it is what it is. So hit me up in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys are creating. Are you doing tutorial videos? Are you doing theatrical trailers, documentaries, just vlogging? I want to know, because I sit here and talk to the camera all day and I'm kind of lonely. Again, I'll throw the links to these tools in the description. I also have courses, all that cool, fun stuff. So consider subscribing to the channel here too, guys. I'll see myself out, and I'll talk to you guys later.